All right, go ahead and get started here. Can everyone hear me? Let's see, how's the sound? Thank you, Andy. All right, well, hello and welcome to, what is this? This is episode 63 of the Janus Motorcycles Ramblestream, where I spend around an hour with you all talking, rambling. Maybe we talk about some motorcycles. And this evening we have a fun program. The second half, we're joined by John Wohlfert of Wohlfert Craft Distilling. We have collaborated with them. They've collaborated with us on a special potation that we will be carrying, and we'll get to hear a little bit about that, the history of that, and learn a little bit more about Wohlfert from, I assume, the man himself. So I haven't actually spoken to him in person yet, so I'm looking forward to the conversation. We also, looks like, have some good comments flowing through here. Let's see. I think I'm going to turn this off. There we go. No TCAM this evening. Anyway, if you are new to the Ramblestream, I'm speaking to you here. If you're catching this live, put up a comment. Let us know you're here. I love seeing comments, and I do make a ridiculous effort. I'm a one-man show. I have no. What do they say? It's like an amanuensis now, but the proverbial Jamie behind the comments or looking things up for me. So it's all me, but I do try and get through all the comments. We'll see. Usually when I have a guest on, I kind of lose the track of making sure that I can get to everyone. But back on topic, comment. That's how I know. That's how we make this a two-way ramble. So as you can see, a lot of the folks that are on already know the drill. The formula we have is tell us your name or your online handle. Tell us where you're viewing from, where you're catching the broadcast, and what do you ride or ramble with. So it could be a car or a truck or a bicycle, one or more wheels. Actually, it could not have wheels at all. It could be a boat too. So it could have wings. Tell us what you ramble with. If it's a motorcycle, tell us more about it. And if it's a Janus motorcycle, tell us the model and the serial number. It's always interesting to see who's on and see if we recognize names or get some older folks that have had a bike longer on. You know, in the modern world, it's cool to have the latest model. So to have a 2024, whatever. In the world of Janus, at least the way I see it, it's really neat if you have a low serial number, an older one. We go to great lengths to try and make all of our new upgrades retrofittable to old bikes. And we also go to great lengths to not really change a whole lot. I mean, we improve as we go, but we try and keep the vision for each model constant. How about that? Not necessarily the same, but a constant thread across our history. And then the last thing that you need to do is tell us what you are sipping on. I am going to save my sipping for the second half of the program with some Wohlfert. So for the time being, I am finishing off what is a cold coffee. Started this morning as a hot one, but I have a nice little kit. I can grind my own coffee here. So, in this, make my coffee. Hot or cold, it's good. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and get started. My name is Richard, founder and designer here at Janus Motorcycles. I'm broadcasting from our fabrication shop, which we call TT. And there's a story behind all that, many stories. And I'm actually in an old paint booth down here. Started off with just me, and gradually it's been filled with more people. So now we have multiple desks in the paint booth. Let's see, what's the next question? I ride a Kawasaki KLR 650, an 09, and a Halcyon 250 number 68. I've been riding the Halcyon a lot more this year than the KLR. And yes, I'm sipping on coffee and soon to be sipping on some whiskey. Let's go take a look at some comments before we read a poem. We got Jim240 says first, and you are first, my friend, at least by my reckoning. Bob Benstead, beautiful Sturgis, South Dakota, drinking orange juice. Merry Christmas to everyone. How's the weather out there, Robert? Bob, is it getting snowy out there yet? Riggedy Alps, cheers from the Arctic blasted area of Massachusetts. I have the fire-stoked LaCroix seltzer in hand, Cheyenne and Spirit safely in the garage, waiting to see what tonight's Ramblestream will bring. Wonderful. I can pull these comments up too. Simtech says, John from Rancho Cucamonga in beautiful Southern California, where with a 7-Up and Halcyon 250 1148 Casimir. Nice. Dave Bowen, just got back from a 130-mile ramble romp with my grandson. Wow, nice. He was on my 9T. Wonderful. 51 sunny degrees in Western Washington with 450 number 41 and a double shot of Wohlfert Reserve 23 on the rocks. Nice. So Dan has been, where's the front? There it is. Dan has been working with the Wohlfert folks. They did well, Dan, you should give us an update. Tell us what happened, and I'm sure John can as well, but I'd love to hear from you. But Dan has been participating in this collaboration. So thank you very much, Dave, for all your contributions there. I hope that you're enjoying your spirits. Joel Yanda, Old Man 1 from Kansas City, Halcyon 450 number 218, and a Griffin 450 number 1, drinking hot coffee. Wonderful. Good to see you, Joel. Eric Green from Vancouver, Washington, Halcyon 250 Outlaw, water. Good to see you, Eric. Steve Q, howdy from Hurst, Texas, riding 250 988 and Halcyon 450 304, drinking root beer. Cheers. Cheers to you, sir. Argo, aka Rex, from Southeast Idaho. My Halcyon 450 number 295 just arrived 3 days ago and loving it. Drinking coffee. Well, congratulations. That's wonderful. Good to hear. Perry Ford, Merry Christmas to Team Janus and all us Ramblers from South Central Texas, enjoying barbecue and a Shinerbach. Absolutely good. Merry Christmas to you, my friend. Keith Haywood from Halcyon 706 in New York, sipping on Tullamore Dew. Michael R. in Middleburg, Virginia, Halcyon 250 Origin 1118, sipping coffee tonight. Randy in the service department took great care of me when I was out there recently. Thank you. Wonderful to hear. Wonderful. Gary Smith, friend of the stream, not that all of you aren't, but hi from Eagle Mountain, Utah. Whoa, what are you doing out there? Spending Christmas with the grandkids. Wonderful. Halcyon 50 number 11, 250 number 79, Halcyon 450 number 3, Phoenix 250 number 79, sipping on a Diet Dr. Pepper. Merry Christmas, Gary, and, to you and all yours. Fernando says, good afternoon from Panama City, Florida. Good to see you, Fernando. Charles from the Eastern Shore, Maryland Eastern Shore, rambling with 250 number 454, Phoenix number 30, and Griffin 450 number 4 later this winter. Drinking Earl Grey. Yes, sir. John Garrance, Arma, Kansas, expecting delivery of Halcyon 450 number 356 soon. Just kicking back with a bit of Jim Beam and Coke. Christmas cheer. Cheers and Merry Christmas all. All right. Well, wonderful. Well, we're 11 minutes in. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to read a poem. Back to our old friend Auden here. I thought this was a good one. I'm not familiar with this poem. I mean, I've read it today, but I was just pouring through here. It's a 2-pager in a very small book. This is called "Leap Before You Look" by Auden. The sense of danger must not disappear.
The way is certainly both short and steep. However gradual it looks from here, look if you like, but you will have to leap. Tough-minded men get mushy in their sleep and break the bylaws any fool can keep. It is not the convention, but the fear that has a tendency to disappear. The worried efforts of the busy heap, the dirt, the imprecision, and the beer, produce a few smart wisecracks every year. Laugh if you can, but you will have to leap. The clothes that are considered right to wear will not be either sensible or cheap, so long as we consent to live like sheep and never mention those who disappear. Much can be said for social savoir-faire, but to rejoice when no one else is there is even harder than it is to weep. No one is watching, but you have to leap. A solitude 10,000 fathoms deep sustains the bed on which we lie, my dear. Although I love you, you will have to leap. Our dream of safety has to disappear. All right. It's a good rambling one. If you've read The Rambler's Companion, you'll know I talk a little bit about some of that idea, if I'm interpreting that correctly. Let's see. We got John Hiss, 1019, Halcyon 250, Lake Havasu City, Arizona, 73 degrees, hit 1,000 miles today. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you. Thank you, Andy, for the sound check. Joel, Yenda, thank you too. All of y'all, wonderful. I appreciate it, as you know. Jeff says, Central Florida, Halcyon 250, number 850, copper, Buffalo Trace. Good man. Jeff Massey, Christmas all, and Richard, your great team, all, and Richard, and your great team in Goshen. Thank you very much, Jeff. Merry Christmas to you. Yeah, we've been settling in here, trying to wrap up builds, trying to get our calendar for the holidays. As a manufacturer, it's challenging because if you're not in production for a while, it means you have a poor collections week. So we kind of have to balance who's in and who's out. But we will be open. Our hours are, we're open, I think we're manning the phones tomorrow, and then we'll be back manning the phones Thursday and Friday, and then all back to work the next week after that. So if you do have any issues, we will not be answering the phones Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Maybe Christmas Eve. I can't keep it straight. Here, let's see. Definitely not Christmas Day and or New Year's Day. Let's see if I can. Yeah, we will have folks answering the phone Christmas Eve and folks answering the phone New Year's Eve, but not New Year's Day or Christmas Day. So we're making a balance of it. It's been, the weather here in Goshen has been chilly. We've had some snow flurries, although we've also had some rain. So I was just talking to my wife and saying this has been the longest that I have not ridden. And part of that is the weather, but the other part is that I've just gotten lazy, and I have my daughter's got a new car, and so I have a little tiny, little compact car that I've been driving around. So, not very good for my rambling street cred, but we'll get the bikes back out soon. Let's see. Jeff says, yes, please take my bourbon allowance. Nice. Dick Dressler, hello and Merry Christmas from the Texas Hill Country. Having enjoyed. Is there a second part to that comment? Maybe not yet. Halcyon 769 in New Hampshire, sipping black tea. Nice. Let's see, what other updates have we got? We've got a lot of, I know you all are always asking about upgrades and options. We have a lot of options and upgrades in the works. It's going to be a little bit until we can actually launch them, but as I think I've mentioned, we've bolstered the design team. I mentioned earlier that we have quite a few desks now in the paint booth. And part of that is that we've got Jeff from the fabrication floor and Neil from the fabrication floor. If you came to the rally, you'll recognize those
names and faces. One of these evenings, I'll get one or the other of those guys on the stream. But they are both experienced designers as well as fabricators. And so we're really bolstering our ability to come out with new products, upgrades, options, improvements. And that's going to be a big part of the coming year, is focusing on a lot of new upgrades and options, and just overall improvements to the model lines. So stay tuned. I will have a lot of updates on that in the coming weeks and months. Let's see, what other news have we got? We had a nice Christmas party. We had a good strategy planning session with some of our members of our board last week. The first day on Monday, we actually met with the whole Janus crew. We took about 3 hours, I think, on Monday afternoon, and just broke into smaller groups. And the groups were not so much based on departments in the company, as we kind of tried to intersperse folks, but getting all the Janus employees in, outside of, away from the assembly line, away from the phones or whatever they're doing, and thinking about ways that we can, things that they would like to see improved in their area or that they notice across the company, and in a variety of areas, whether it's customer service, quality, production, and then everybody came back together and we talked through those different themes, and it was very easy to see some different patterns across the board. And then the next day, we met with kind of more some of our board members and shareholders and managers within the company, and tried to kind of nail down a real plan for the coming year. And I think if I were to try and kind of gloss that, it is creating greater visibility across the company, so that everybody can understand better what's going on. It's amazingly challenging, having the more people we add to the team, how much more important, clear communication is, and good visibility on where parts are. And then, let's see, and a big part of that is our MRP software that I think I talked a little bit about on the last stream, but basically managing our inventory in a more effective way. And let's see, visibility, communication, and I think just overall flow and efficiency. So we will probably be seeing a big focus on that the coming year, and a big focus on new products and upgrades and options. So leaning into our strengths. What we're good at here at Janus is design, making beautiful things, and what we try and be really good at is our customer experience. That all of you are still here, so we must be doing something right. So yeah. Let's see. Fernando says, I just got pictures of the build of my Halcyon Origin 250 1155 last Thursday. Wonderful. Well, I hope you like it, and I know you will enjoy it even more in person. I know we have a big shipment coming up in the next week or 2 weeks maybe. A big shipment where a lot of bikes are going to be going out. So yeah, that's coming up in the near future. We're racing to get all the bikes ready. James Paul, Merry Christmas from James in Denton, Texas, and Halcyon 250 number 71. Merry Christmas to you, James, and many returns of the season. Racing the Sun. Ahoy, Felix Brothers here. Halcyon 450 number 120 and 121. Cheers. Cheers to you guys. Sorry I missed you when you were down here recently. Bob says, no snow in Sturgis, some down by Deadwood. I thought Deadwood was up. I don't know the Black Hills very well. I've just ridden them. It seemed like Deadwood was high up in the air. Maybe that's what you refer to it as directionally. I don't know. Jeff Hoekstra. Jeff from Cedar Lake, Indiana, sitting next to Halcyon 250 number 63, sipping on Woodford Reserve. Very nice. That's one of my It's hard to say what my favorite is, but Woodford is probably up there as one of my favorite bourbons that I can afford, at least. Dan Rudemsky. Hey, Dan. Happy Christmas from Halcyon 450, number 235. Sipping on nothing. Oh, all right. Well, cheers anyway. Kelly Chrisman, Halcyon 450, number 236, Coyote. 2013 Harley Davidson Ultra, Black Pearl. 2006 Harley Davidson Heritage, Elvira. And out of Winchester, sipping on Orange Crush. Merry Christmas to all. Well, Merry Christmas to you. Great. Another Virginian there. Brian Smith took delivery of Griffin 161 last week. Rides even better than it looks. Tell Randy in service that he's awesome. I will do so. He patiently walked me through charging a lithium battery, drinking Yingling. Well, cheers to you, Brian. John Garrett says, did I understand you correctly last Ramblestream that even the new 450s will only have the one single speedometer and no separate tach? You did. That is correct. The new Janus path, at least for the foreseeable future, is a single instrument. So it's going to be a single unit that has both a tachometer and a speedometer. One of the designs that I'm probably the most proud of, and I'm sure everyone's going to have a different opinion on it, but is the top plate on the Halcyon 250. Originally, when we made the Halcyon, the Halcyons first had a single instrument straight off the front. And I think it was, I forget what design it was. I think it was a Honda that I found. But basically, the idea was that they shifted the key switch to the left on the bike. And then the instrument cluster was a little bit to the right. And it was just off-center enough, this asymmetry that I think is absolutely fantastic. And so the design of that 250 top plate with the asymmetrical offset instrument with the key switch is one of the designs I really appreciate. I call myself as a classicist, symmetry is very important. I really like symmetry. However, it's nice. Variation is also nice, and it's nice to throw in a little asymmetry that I think actually emphasizes the symmetry of the bike. So when we started looking at the 450, it was more obvious that we needed bigger instruments, and we decided to go with and we also knew we needed a tachometer, which we did not need a tachometer on the 250. I was just talking to one of my daughters about driving. I drive Volkswagen, manual diesel Volkswagen, and I was like, well, we're gonna, she's almost old enough to drive. She can get her permit very soon, actually. and I was like, well, you're gonna have to learn how to drive a stick. And she knows how to drive a motorcycle. So I was like, if you know how to shift gears, you'll be fine. But how did I get on this topic? Now I'm totally losing the train of my thought. Shifting gears. Oh, the tachometer. I said my first car was a Volkswagen Bug, which was a manual transmission, 1972, and all it had is a speedometer. So she was asking what a tachometer was, and I was like, well, it tells you when to shift gears. It tells you what RPM you are, but you don't need one if you have a loud old car that you can feel it in, like an old Volkswagen or a Halcyon 250. You can just feel the tachometer. However, as we started looking for an alternate instrument to replace MMB, who used to supply all our instruments, I thought, well, wouldn't it be neat if we can go back to having a single instrument? And so what we were able to do is have the tachometer be analog, or a needle, and the speedometer is a digital readout, because the speed on a Janus is how you feel. Now, the engine speed, you do need to actually know. And as much as you don't need a tachometer on a 250, it's really fun to see one. I've got one of the first prototypes on my Halcyon 250. We test a lot of parts out on it, and it's fun to see the engine speed and see the tachometer moving. So I think
heightens the experience and adds to it to have the tachometer, whereas the speedometer is not so important. So that having that as a digital readout makes sense to me. I like the fact that it's sort of a nod to modern a modern design, but it has the traditional tachometer, which you can't read a digital tachometer. I mean, you want to be able to just see what RPM you're at. Your brain doesn't work to read a digital tachometer. I've tried, believe me. So yeah, I'm really excited about it, and I think you all will be too. The quality of these is really exceptional. Very, very nice. So, okay, well, we're going to start with, I think we're going to bring Mr. Wohlfert on, John on in a couple of minutes here. I'll just go over a couple more comments before we do so. Let's see. Yes. Uncle Voodoo chiming in from Buena Vista, Virginia. Halcyon 250, number 465. Bimble. Jacked up on Mountain Dew. Fantastic. Fantastic. Good to see you. Grant says, Uncle Voodoo, thanks for joining these art kids again. Merry Christmas and thanks for making more videos. Indeed. Grant says, 250, Griffin 1, and Phoenix number 1. It's got some good serial numbers there. Try and beat that. Joel Yanda. Richard, would you be interested in organizing a group of Janus owners for a BDRX, Backcountry Discovery Route ride sometime later this year? I think it would be fun for Griffin owners and others. Yes. That would be really fun. I would love to do that. And I know that there are more from our team that would also be excited in that. So let's talk. Let's talk. Grant says, Goshen, Indiana. Yes, indeed. John Syverson, if you want to be happy for a day, drink. If you want to be happy for a year, marry. If you want to be happy for a lifetime, ride a motorcycle. Anonymous Merry Christmas from snowy central Wisconsin. Nice. Kelly says, Joel Yanda, not many days left this year. Yeah. Later this year. Oh, I gotcha. He's already in next year. Kelly. Okay. Spencer says, stuck in New Orleans till tomorrow. Flat tire last Sunday and not fixed yet, so had to ride the BMW 1200. The Halcyon 250 is much more enjoyable. Oh, good to hear. Joel says, Grant, are we good for January 17th? And can you send me pictures of my Griffin 450? We do need to send you some pictures because it's looking really good. Uncle Voodoo says, Grant, lots of adventures coming. Nice. Joel Yanda, thanks, Kelly. All right, we got conversations. I'm not going to read all the conversations back and forth. Fernando says, my first car was a 1977 VW Thing, red with black vinyl seats. Yeah, the Volkswagen Things are really, really cool. Racing the Sun, we saw the single gauge unit in person the other day, and it really looks great. Wonderful. Thank you, guys. Travis Johnson says, Merry Christmas, everyone. Here in chilly Nashville, Tennessee. Halcyon 250 number 1109, McBride. How difficult would it be to retrofit one of the new Speedos on my 250? I think we can make that work. Richard at janusmotorcycles.com. Send me an email, Travis, and I can check in on that. I need to double check, but I believe you may have to wait a little bit because we're working on an interim fix, but yeah. Okay, last comment. N8 ARB got the hella 70s on the 450. Nice sound. Is that like an exhaust? Maybe it is. Tell us. Okay, either way, I am delighted to bring on Mr. John Wohlfert here, and let's see if it all works. Boom. All right.
There you go.
And actually, I need to put my earphones in so I can hear him.
Oh.
Give me
There
one
you
second
go.
here, John.
No problem.
I'm notoriously terrible at making technology work. So, all right. Can you hear me?
Absolutely. Can you hear me?
Okay. I can hear you. Fantastic.
Everything works.
Well, welcome to the Ramblestream. And you heard the cue earlier. So tell us give us your Rambler intro.
Well, let's see. We've got Harley Davidsons right now. We'll be waiting for my Halcyon 450, which we'll be ordering. We're going to have it all
better?
custom done up. Even better. Absolutely. Excited about that. Yes, we have a, let's see, up behind me, see if I can, up there, you barely make it out. That's a Harley Davidson 1959 Panhead. Belongs to my wife.
Very cool.
Was her brother's, but he passed away, and the state owed my wife some money, so she took that instead. And it's a nice bike. I have a 2005 Ultra Classic Electric Glide in the garage. We used to do a lot of riding up until we started working on the distillery. And,
Yeah.
Since then, haven't had much time to enjoy riding around very much. Used to ride every day, so on a commute to work. So,
So have you ridden for your whole life, or what's your story with riding?
oh yeah, no, I started riding. My first bike was a 1967 Honda 175. When I was a kid. I think it was like 16. So
Classic.
many moons ago. And
Yeah.
that was my first bike, and upgraded from that to a Honda 750. Then went to a Goldwing 1200. Then the Harley, the Ultra
Okay.
Classic. So
Cool.
fun stuff.
Well, wonderful. I didn't realize Jordan from our team and Grant have been working with you all
Yes.
primarily, and I haven't been too involved. So I'm glad to hear that you all are riders, and that you've already answered some of my questions that I have for you. But let's hear a little bit about. Tell us the story of this distillery. How did you get into this? Is this I hear that there's some family history, but give us a little.
Yeah.
little story there.
There's a bit of it. I kind of got involved with distilling about 10 or so years ago, and of course, it's against the law to make spirits. Oh, thank you. Without a federal permit.
Right.
So, doing it in my garage, which I may or may not have done 10 years ago,
Uh-huh.
was kind of an interesting experience. I lived in a regular neighborhood, and I had steam flowing down my driveway from the hot water from the condenser, and people leaving my house with mason jars, and this wasn't going to end well.
Right.
So I started looking onto how to do it legally, and at one of the courses that I took was a American Distilling Institute competition judge, and he tasted my wife's coffee liqueur. And his comment was, if you do nothing the rest of your life, you must make this. So we started looking for a piece of property where we could do it legally. And here we are, one of the very few distilleries on personal property in the United States. The distillery is 70 feet off my back porch. So, heck of a commute.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we, when we opened up about 3.5 years ago, we started with 4 products. My wife's coffee liqueur, a vodka, her basil flavored vodka, and my great grandpa's sugar shine. And my great grandparents, I've got a picture I can show you if you want.
Yeah.
That's a picture of my great grandparents. It's the only picture we have of them, so we had a guy come in. If you ever come and visit the tasting room, he painted a big mural on the wall. It's really quite nice. And they owned a bakery in College Point, New York in the 19 teens and 20s. Immigrant family from Germany, and they had 9 kids. They all had to work at the bakery to eke out a living, you know. My grandpa's job was to make pies. But by the time Prohibition came around, he had become a Boilermaker by trade.
Okay.
So he convinced my great-grandparents to move everybody into that 3-story tall home that was in that picture. He installed a boiler in the basement and bored holes about much bigger than that around, and through each of the 3 floors inside the house, and that's where the column for the still went.
All right.
By 1925, which is when that picture was taken, they didn't have a struggling bakery anymore. They had 3 thriving bakeries. because they could get all the raw materials without government scrutiny. So they would make the mash at the bakeries and it smelled like bread rising. And then they would cart it over to the house in that 1924 Ford delivery van and gravity feed it into the basement with a hose. They'd collect all the alcohol on the first floor, which was above ground, and they would just gravity feed the alcohol back into the van and cart it away. Now they fermented with sugar, so we can't actually call it whiskey because whiskey can only be made with 100% with grain. Mm-hmm. So technically it's a specialty alcohol. Some people would refer to it as a moonshine. Well, they didn't age it back then.
It tastes like it has a, I mean, I can definitely taste that it does have a bourbon-like, whiskey-like flavor.
Yes, yeah. You're having the Halcyon.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Well, that's something that we did an experiment with a few years ago. I was gifted an Elijah Craig single-use bourbon barrel. And so we did a special batch of the Sugar Shine. And we did not flavor it. We did not color it the way Great-Grandpa did back in the day. And so what we wound up doing was we put 53 gallons in the barrel, and we took that barrel over to Eastern Washington, where it has extreme changes in heat between day and night. And it sat there for 19 months, and when we brought it back, there was only 43 gallons left in the barrel. So when we took it out and we tasted it, it was just delightful. Because when we do the Sugar Shine, since it's normally not going to be aged in oak barrels, we only use what are called the hearts of the run when we make it. So it's super smooth. So when it went into the barrel, it was just very, very smooth. We were really pleased with how it came out, so we tested it and tried to find out exactly what the best proof would be for it, and we settled on 100 proof for it. It really opens up. We should put a big cube in it. It's just delicious. The regular version of the Sugar Shine at the International Bartender Spirits Competition won silver medal. It was the highest rated moonshine in the competition. And in the Northwest, there's a magazine called SIP magazine, SIP, and they have a Best of the Northwest Spirits competition, and it was the highest rated moonshine there. It also won a Judge's Pick Award. And putting it in that barrel only made it way better. So.
Yeah. So you're in Washington. Your family story is from New York, or when did you all migrate?
Well, yeah, they're in New York. I migrated to the West Coast to go to college down in Southern California in Orange County. Ended up getting into truck driving. And ended up settling in Washington after I decided to end that career because of deregulation of the industry. Mm-hmm. So I've been living here ever since, and love it.
So how long has it been since you opened the distillery?
About 3.5 years.
Okay.
We originally wanted to do
it for a little bit.
Yeah. We're very excited. We're very pleased with the reception that we've gotten. We've got a lot of excellent awards on our products. Our apple liqueur is the highest rated in the world in every competition it's ever been in. Karen's coffee liqueur won gold at the International Bartender Spirits Competition. Highest rated coffee liqueur from a domestic manufacturer. Tied for second in the world in points. Really, really good stuff. So very excited about it. Even our Karen's basil flavored vodka is pretty awesome too. So we're very thrilled about that. Turned out really well. So
how many different spirits do you make, and how big is your operation? How much do you sell it? Tell us a little more about that.
Well, we're just getting to the point now where the product is becoming available in more locations, more stores. Our basil flavored vodka is available at all Total Wine & More stores in Washington. Our liqueurs are becoming available in Total Wine & More flagship stores. So we're in Washington flagship stores, Florida flagship stores, Texas, and California. It's also available through our web store, our new web store, and we ship to most everywhere. They ship. We fulfill it through a retailer down there, and so we don't ship to, I think, South Dakota, Michigan, Tennessee,
Sorry,
and
Bob.
Utah. Anywhere else we can go.
Sorry, Gary.
Yeah. You got to get a friend that you can get across the border.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. So we're pretty excited about that, and we're excited about the Janus package that we're doing, which is the Halcyon Reserve 750.
Yeah, I got it right here.
Along with a really cool Janus poster sign.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
I just did that last week.
Yeah, very cool. Yep.
Great.
Signed by your host. Awesome stuff. We appreciate that. These are getting down to our California retailer who will be able to fulfill the orders outside of Washington. The package also comes with a 7-pack sampler, which is one of each of our normal retail products, which is kind of neat.
So those are your regular products. So 7 different things. Okay, cool.
Yeah, very good.
So I noticed some cool names there. Tell us about the names of the products.
Yeah, well, like I mentioned, Karen and I are into motorcycles. So all of the products are named after motorcycle parts, which is kind of fun. So our regular vodkas, Headlight. Whoops. Then we have High Beam. Yep. Then we have Spark, which is the basil flavored vodka. Starter is the Sugar Shine. The base for the Halcyon product. Torque, which is our apple liqueur. And then we have Karen's coffee liqueurs, which she does in regular and in decaf. She's been making that stuff since she's been in her 20s and started doing it in decaf because she wanted to be able to have a favorite drink at night and go to bed and not be wired on caffeine. Her favorite drink is a shot of the decaf coffee liqueur and a shot of brandy, something cheap like E&J, on the rocks with some half and half. It's super smooth and velvety. Yeah, it's a very nice product.
So it seems like you have all these names that definitely have motor connections. Tell us more about that.
Oh yeah, well we really just thought that would be a really good way to keep the whole brand messaging together. And we've started a couple of clubs. One club is called the Outriders Club. The folks that would go out ahead of the bootleggers to make sure the coast was clear, or to do crazy
so the
things.
Outriders are scouting ahead the routes.
Yeah.
Got it.
And so that club is like a 3-bottle per quarter release commitment. There's no charge to join the clubs, and they get access to things like our spoiler vodka. If you've ever seen where people say that, this vodka has been distilled 16 times distilled.
Yeah.
Kind of cheat. If you look behind me over my shoulder, you'll see that tall silver column.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a vodka column. So you'll notice it has 16 plates on it, 16 windows. And so most of the vodka, as it hits there, it recondenses. And in order for it to go to the next plate up, it has to go back to a vapor, which technically is a distillation. So they'll count that. This product has seen 54 plates. It is the smoothest vodka I've ever had in my life. It's really amazing. So, and I had a lady who used to work for the largest liquor distributor in America, who was their vodka person, tell me that it was the smoothest vodka she ever had. I'm very excited.
So what of your spirits are you sort of like the most? What do you specialize in? Would you say?
Well, I'd say our most popular one is Karen's coffee liqueur.
Okay.
Every bar or restaurant that picks that product up and features a drink with it, it becomes their top selling drink. We've got a lot of bars and restaurants in the area. They exclusively make all their coffee drinks with our stuff. It's really delicious. Very thick and rich. People put it on ice cream. People bring us things that they make with it, like fudge. Karen makes tiramisu with it. She soaks the ladyfingers in it. Truffles where they make ganache. It's just a lot of fun to have people bring us stuff that they've made with it. It's just a lot of fun to see.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah, club
So
members
if
also
people-
get the mini version of the Halcyon product,
Okay.
$375.
Okay. So if people are in the area and they want to visit, do you have a tasting room? How does that work? You said it's on private property.
Yes, yeah, we have a tasting room here at the distillery. We're open Saturdays and Sundays from noon until 6, but we'll open by appointment only. So people can give us a call, and my operations manager and co-distiller is here. Every day during the week. I'm usually here too. So we're more than happy to help people out and show them the facility, have them do a tasting, try everything out, and enjoy it. Yeah. So
How many folks have you got working there?
we're pretty small, so there's really only about 4 of us that work it right now. We're focused primarily on right now on our local area, and of course our direct to consumer stuff through our websites. Doing more work with companies like Total Wine and More, and as we move into next year, that'll become a bigger focus for us.
Cool. Very cool. Well, so if folks want to, if all the Janus owners want to get some, do they buy them on your website? What's the best
Absolutely,
path to do
and
that?
we'd love you to maybe put it on yours too and give a link to it. That'd be great.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
so go to wohlfertcraftdistilling.com and go to our main page, and you'll see there's a whole thing about the Janus collaboration, which is really good.
Yeah, that's
there's
actually
also
below, linked in this. If you're on YouTube, there's a link already below this video that'll take you right to that collaboration page, and then you can click through and see what else that Wohlfert guys make. But it's in the description.
Oh yeah, it's really great. And you just click on the shop button that's there, it'll take it to our web store, and you can get in to see the details and the background on on it, and the awards that they've won, the different awards, and a little bit of background on each one as well.
Very cool. Do you go to those competitions regularly?
Well, actually, we go to the conferences, some of the conferences after the fact. All the tastings are all done blind, so the judges have no idea who made what it is that they're tasting.
But you have to enter it.
We have to enter it. Yeah, and those things are done months ahead of time before the conference, before things are announced. We find out usually before the conference how well the product did, but we're not allowed to say anything until the conference actually happens. For some of them, others not so much. Like the San Francisco World Spirits Competition, that once they make the announcement, we can go ahead and tell people what.
But you're doing that pretty regularly, though.
Yeah, we go. Especially when we bring in new products and things, we'll enter the product into multiple competitions. So new products, we do that with. So like the coffee, or like the apple liqueur, which is super popular this time of the year. I like it with eggnog and nutmeg at this time of the year. But
yeah, I was just talking to my wife. We usually make eggnog, but we haven't done it yet. And really, to make eggnog, you need to let it sit for a while. But we're a little behind the ball on it. But so, I'm really curious about this. The operation itself. Like, you have to make a spirit, you have to distill it.
Yes.
I see some really cool equipment behind you, but is it like a traditional copper still, like you think of a moonshiner, or like how many?
Yeah.
Do you have
Here,
to have? How does it work?
Yeah, sure. Let's go for a walk.
Awesome.
Okay, I'll show you. Cool. Yeah. So actually, it all really starts down here in this piece of equipment here. There we go. That's called a mash tun. So this is where we'll build the mash. So we'll have the like in the case of the sugar shine, the corn will go in here along with the sugar, and we heat it up. Inside of it, it has big coils that are connected to a huge glycol chiller out back, so that we can decrease the temperature rapidly, so that we can then pitch the yeast. Once that's done, it ends up in over here in these totes. Currently, we have about 750 gallons of mash working right now. I can smell it. It smells like bread rising.
You got a
And
bakery going there, right?
yes, yes. Kind of part of the fun thing with Great Grandpa, because when it was fermenting, it would smell like bread rising. So when it's done working, we will then transfer it from here using a pump. And that will go over here into this. This is Kim, by the way. My wife named it Kim after Kim Kardashian because it's a little on the wide side there.
There you go, folks. Naming your bike, naming your still.
There you go. Absolutely. So this is heated with a steam boiler, and so it's kind of like a gigantic Bain Marie. So it heats up, and the steam comes in, through there.
Yeah.
There you go. So we can adjust it. And alcohol boils at 172 degrees. So once it starts to boil, it will go up here through the onion and then up to the top, and then we'll direct it down whichever column we want it to use. In the case of the sugar shine, that'll go into this column.
Beautiful equipment.
Thank you. So we get all with copper. When we're doing a vodka, that will go into the vodka column. The tall one right there.
Is that all stainless steel?
On the outside, yes. On the inside, there's quite a bit of copper.
It's copper, okay.
Yeah. So now most distilleries, when they do a vodka, after it comes off the still at 190 plus proof, because that's what makes it vodka. You can make vodka out of anything. We use corn. Corn's a grain we use for all of our spirits. But most distilleries, after it comes off the vodka column, they'll proof it down a bit, and then they'll run it through charcoal filters, and then they'll proof it down again and bottle it. We don't do that. We put it back in the still, and we run it in here for about 24 hours just in the copper alone. It dramatically changes the way the vodka tastes.
What do you mean? What do you mean you run it? You're just like letting it cook, or what?
Yeah, it recirculates through the copper.
Okay.
Yeah, many times. That smooths the vodka out very, very much. In fact, most people don't like to drink vodka straight because it's got that kind of medicine-y kind of smell and flavor and odor type thing. Ours is a bit different. You'll notice it doesn't have that normal vodka smell to it, or that normal vodka flavor. In fact, Sip Magazine gave it a Judge's Pick Award in the Best of the Northwest Spirits competition. So it's super smooth. Yep.
Cool. Well, thank you. That's great.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I appreciate you. I always thought we were happy to answer questions. If anybody's got any questions about,
if anybody has any questions. Otherwise, if you still have questions and you haven't thought of them, you can send us an email and we can get them answered. We're just very excited. This is a small operation, obviously, as you all have heard, and even though it's on the other side of, well, not really all the way across, but we're not. I always say the other side. I'm from Virginia, but on the West Coast, we of course have lots of owners in the area. So it's local to some Janus owners. But yeah, we're really excited for this collaboration.
We were really attracted to the whole Janus motorcycles because, well, of course, the beautiful engineering, outstanding care and quality to the product. And it just seemed like a real synergy for us. So there you go, your halcyon.
What does the Reserve 23 mean?
2023 was the year
23.
that we put it in the barrel.
Very good. Yeah, and I've been sipping on it this evening. I don't know if this is sacrilege, but as a bourbon drinker, I mixed a little water in with it. That's what I like in my bourbon.
Oh, that's perfectly cool. People like to do that.
Quite good.
A little splash. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, fantastic. John, it's been a pleasure. I hope that we get to talk more. And I would encourage all the Janus folks, check out Wohlfert. We're excited to do another collab. I'm actually wearing, this is a collaboration we did last year, Duluth Pack up in Duluth. But yeah, this is another one. Look for more. It's always fun for us to meet other small businesses, other American businesses that are doing similar things that are not right in the same world. So that's kind of, if you look at the Rambler's Companion, we talk about everything from sailing to bicycle riding to whatever it is. But we also enjoy, as all Ramble Streamers know, every Ramble Stream we tell about what we're sipping on. So a good libation is key to enjoying rambling. So this is an especially fitting one. John, thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for working with us and collaborating. We're proud to be working with you all. And
same here. Thank you so much.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Yes, yes.
Absolutely. Cheers. Thank
Cheers.
you very much.
Thank you.
All right, Ramblers. Managed to nail the timing on that one pretty well. I think I've said pretty well, and John explained very well what they all do out there at Wohlfert. It's a beautiful, beautiful bottle, lovely label, and even more importantly, a tasty, tasty sip lies within. I just want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas. Let me see what the calendar says. If I'm going to do... The calendar says that next Monday... Somebody's already going to be on it. Next Monday is the 30th. So tentatively, let's go ahead and say that we're going to do a Ramble Stream. So yeah, tentatively, I will see you all next week. And it will not be the new year yet. So I will not wish you a new year yet. But Merry Christmas. I wish you all a lot of good time celebrating the season. I hope you can do so with friends, family, and we're going to be doing the same here at Janus. And yeah, thank you so much for another great Ramble Stream. And I will see you next week. Bye-bye. Merry Christmas.